Hello everybody and welcome back to Spiritual Astrology. Today I wanted to talk to you all about fear and love. So I think this is possibly quite the most basic yet extreme topic that I can talk about is fear versus love, because everything is made out of fear or love. And basically it's about perspective. And perspective in astrology is pretty much everything. Because you're looking at a chart and you're seeing through your own perspective what that perspective would be of the chart when you're reading someone's chart. If you're not doing that, you are not a good astrologer. If you're not able to see what perspective is. Because you as an astrologer have a lens, and that lens, part of this lens that we are living through in this human life is our birth chart. Okay? So if you are an astrologer, you have to know that. Otherwise, you do not believe in what you're doing, and what you're doing is meaningless. So, as an astrologer, if you have a passion for this and you can understand what Mars in Libra means, or Moon in Taurus, there's subtle differences. And it's not just by reading astrology books, but also by experiencing life, talking to people. That's where most of this knowledge comes from. And our knowledge base is partly based on sensing and partly based on intuition. And the planets kind of gave you this, they created your intuition before you were born. And they also created how you sense things. So for me, as an air sign rising, my way of perceiving the world first comes through an intuitive thing. It's very much mental. It's very high mental because my Aquarius rising and also my Gemini moon, which analyzes the crap out of everything, and that would be intuition. Okay? So intuition versus sensing. And then there's thinking versus feeling. And then there's judging. Now I'm getting into the Myers-Briggs. But this is how you're created when you're born. Every single thing that you are is borrowed in this lifetime. Everything that you think you are is not a real manifestation of your true self, because we are unable to see our true selves. The ability to be able to see our true selves fully would be ridiculous. Although, in my chart, that's actually kind of the purpose of my birth chart, is to completely understand myself. But it's exhausting. Exhausting. So, I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm moving from air energy and trying to understand water energy, because water energy is just healing, beautiful, emotional, selfish, extremely selfish. And you hear fire signs are selfish, but it's the water in us that is selfish, because it is our needs and our desires. They need to be met. So, if you fear being nice to yourself, or if you fear not being loved, this will affect your life. And what planet affects fear more than any other planet? Saturn, which is my chart ruler. I've said it so many times. My sun is conjunct Saturn, and so is my Mercury. And Neptune's pretty close too. All those planets are in a tight conjunction in Capricorn, okay? This is the ability to perceive. Saturn gives you the ability to cut your emotions off, to be able to see your life in every possible way. So Saturn is very objective because it rules Capricorn and Aquarius, right? Saturn gives us our fears. So imagine if we lived on a planet with just the sun and the moon. Oh God, oh golly, everything would be so perfect. No, because there would be no structure. You wouldn't understand anything. Saturn is the absolute base when it comes to day-to-day life. And it's all you need to know. You can go further into our solar system and look at Uranus, which is beyond time and space, and it rules over intuition, higher learning, knowledge, and probably heaven. Uranus probably is heaven. The energy of Uranus is the higher mind. The higher mind is the ability to understand things better. When you understand things better, you understand yourself better because you are everything. So anyway, Uranus very much opens you up. Like you just understand things with Uranus energy. And it's also simple. It kind of gets boring. So, without emotions, emotions are this foggy thing that's blurring our vision. But it's not blurring. It's a good thing that we have emotions, but they're tied to our ego. Emotions would not exist if you didn't exist. Because imagine if you knew completely and understood that you were a part of everything else. You would have no drama. So Saturn creates fear to separate you from other things so you can understand yourself better. And Saturn is the true expander of the universe because your mind will expand when you focus on your Saturn. When you're doing your Saturn work, when you reap what you sow, things will get better and life is amazing. I'm just letting you know that Saturn gives us boundaries because we deserve them. And that was hard to say for me because emotionally, I just think that everyone deserves everything all the time. And I think that's a Capricorn thing. We just want everything to be perfect all the time. But it can't be. But Aquarius, is really good at doing that. So I have both of those things in my chart. So I understand the limits of life. There's limits everywhere. It gets really boring. If you're Capricorn out there, if you know Capricorn, understand that Capricorns have to endure boredom way more than everyone else because we understand. We walk into a room and we just see everything. There's nothing that, we get a first impression and we go by that because it's everything that we know in one split second. Now, these are the cardinal signs. If you have any cardinal placement in your chart, that is initiative. It's the initiative to start something. It's taking everything and turning it into a spark. It's taking all the knowledge and using that as a life force for your future to guide you on, to move you forward. So Saturn is a platform. Capricorn is a platform. The sun does die around the winter solstice, if you're in the northern hemisphere. When the sun is about to enter Capricorn, everything is dying. Capricorn literally picks everything up in order to move forward for us to continue life on Earth. Earth signs literally take the burden of everyone emotionally. Think about that. Earth signs are the sacrifices, okay? Capricorn is the sacrifice. It's the scapegoat. If you've read the Bible, you can understand that it's the sacrifice of the world. Taurus is the bull, the sacrificial bull that they used to sacrifice in ancient times. That if you sacrifice, you get money in return, which is pretty horrible. So I feel bad for Tauruses. But Tauruses basically have to take on the burden of possessions. Virgos have to take on the burden of sex and the human body, which is really difficult in today's day and age, in the age of Pisces. No, really though. And, I can go on about the air signs, but, air signs are mental, so they, their burden is more life itself. They just don't understand it. They probably feel alien because, emotions are messy and sticky, and they're why do people even bother? That is an air sign mentality. Fire signs don't like communicating that much. They would rather just be doing things. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, I have no fire, which is why it's hard for me to get motivated. But today I got motivated to make this video, so that's good. There must be something going on. I think Mars in Capricorn or something, or Mars in Gemini. I don't know. But just to get motivated and moving and doing things, that's a fire thing. And then water, they feel trapped in their bodies. So if someone has a lot of water in their chart, they're not comfortable having a human body. You have to really understand that. And they're not going to tell you this, obviously. They're a water sign. Come on. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Basically, if there's a message from this, like a point, something for me to kind of explain or teach or inspire you guys, it would be that I've dealt with a lot of fear throughout my life. Most of the decisions I made when I was younger were through fear. And I don't think I want to continue doing that. So if you've had your Saturn return, or if you're close to your Saturn return, just keep in mind that your life might change drastically. And it could be for the better, could be for the worse. Basically, it's karma. So everything that's ever happened to you will return to you. That is Saturn. That is my ruler. I am kind of happy that Saturn was conjunct my sun when I was born, because I've always been aware of my actions. So, be aware of your actions. Be centered, be present, be in the moment, accept reality. Move on with your day, understand yourself. Be yourself, be centered. Find a stable ground. Stick to your guns. All that stuff. Capricorns aren't good at that, but we learn when we get older. All you Cancers out there who, just the opposite of me, oh my gosh, I can't even have conversations with you guys. Okay. Alright. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think of the video. Yeah, have a good day. Bye.